Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me for Schedule for Success. This call is run by me. I'm the founder of Momentum Marketplace. My name is Brooke Marketplace. If you haven't met me before, you might hear of the pitter patter of a child upstairs. Luckily, a big reason that we moved across the country was for my husband to be remote. So when days went crazy and we needed to wrangle children, he could help out a little bit too. And so he's remote with his job now. And I was supposed to have a babysitter today, but I apparently don't know how to follow through booking things correctly as we're working with the service now, and I totally messed it up. So anyways, that's why we are building Momentum platform, because of the fact that moms need flexibility. And it is a big issue in our society that we are just kind of, it all falls on us as moms and caregivers to get this kind of stuff taken care of. So the show must go on, and I had this call. So the biggest thing I can recommend to moms that are starting businesses, or if you already have a business, is just to be as consistent as possible, even when things are thrown in the way. I remember talking to a client, a fellow mom boss, who we were chatting one day, and she said that one day one of her clients was just like, I cannot, I'm sorry, like you seem like a great designer, but I can't work with you because your child keeps walking in during our call. And she said, I knew then I just couldn't work with this lady. And that was a really big awakening for me as well, because I was like, if a client is not going to be understanding of the fact that moms are trying to juggle a lot of things, then I don't really want to work with them either. And so that's what really led me to working with other moms. And that is what led to Momentum inevitably. I believe that we are pretty powerful as moms. We can get a lot done. We bring a lot of skills to the table. And there's 43% of us that have left the workforce and a lot of us are looking for work to do from home, where we still can lead a flexible life and spend time with our kids. So this morning, even though our babysitter didn't come, I got an extra hour with my little one when my husband took our big girl to camp today. So that was nice, and flexibility allowed that because he wasn't having to commute to work, and I wasn't having to go to work either, because I was going to jump on this call with you guys. So that's just a little intro, but that really leads into what we're going to be talking about today with scheduling for success. So I am going to pull up my screen and do this presentation for you guys. So if you can just give me a thumbs up, Stephanie, if you are seeing my whole screen. Okay, cool. So, like I mentioned, my name is Brooke Marketplace, and I'm the founder of Momentum Marketplace. And today we're going to talk about scheduling for success with being a mom boss, basically. And this works for whether you have a big business or whether you have a small business or you're just getting started. These are principles that I have used throughout the last 4.5 years since I have either been freelancing, running a company, or now starting a tech startup. And I really believe in these, and I'm going to give some shout outs to people that have taught me about these different elements, and also some of this is just what has worked for me, and it always changes. So I will share my ways to schedule for success more over time, but this is how it works best for me right now. So let's get going. This is a quote from one of my favorite mamas and mom bosses, and she is the author of the new book, Do Less. And she says that the secret to success is not fitting more into our days, as we've all been told. The secret to success is fitting more of ourselves into our days. And Kate is really one of my, I don't think we'll call anybody a guru, but in many ways I feel like she is. She has probably been quite a few steps in front of where I have always been in my business because I started a lot later than her. And I've learned from her. And she has 2 little girls as well and a successful business. And her husband also has they run a successful business together. And I really admire what they do and what they put out into the world. And they really stick to what they believe in, and they're really authentic. And so I love hearing from their journey. And I feel like this quote is a really good way to set us up for what I'm going to teach you guys today. So like I mentioned, check out Kate's book, Do Less. It is totally a revolutionary approach to time management for busy moms. Some of the stuff I'm going to tell you today is some of the things that Kate talks about, but it is not all of it by any means, and I'll share a little bit more about that later. I am also in her Facebook and membership group called Origin, and I promise I get nothing for telling you guys about this. It's just been life-changing for me, and I really, really like what she puts out there. I think Origin is open for membership right now, and it is, I'm not exactly sure how much it is anymore per month, but it's totally worth it. She puts out amazing content, and it is perfect for busy moms. So check this book out, and it truly transformed my business. I heard about Kate when I was pregnant, after I had Lily, and I was feeling really burnout. I had been working a ton, and now I had a new little one, and I was trying to navigate all of that, and I really needed to work on my time management. And I really started to put her stuff into practice when I got pregnant with Lucas, and that's how I co-founded the Podworks co-working space, and how I then went on to found Momentum, all while being pregnant, having a baby, postpartum, and now having 2 children. So it obviously works. So the first thing I want to talk about is getting out of overwhelm. That is the biggest problem that we all have as moms. I know this picture is silly, but I think it all is kind of crazy. I feel like if I allowed myself to have sticky notes, I would have a million of them, because it is easy to get into overwhelm, and our brains have only but so much space to keep all of these things inside, and we have to get them out. And so before I start planning anything whatsoever at all, I do a brain dump. And so this can be anywhere you want this brain dump to be. It can be on a piece of paper and a journal. It can be on your computer, on a Google Doc, whatever you want to do, but you need to get it all out. It needs to just, everything that's on your mind. Usually what I do is family. So everything that I need to get out of my head for family, everything that I need to get out of my mind for business, and then just like anything else that's on your mind. Just write it down. It doesn't have to be in sentences, it's bullet points, whatever you want. Just get it out on paper. And get it out of your head, because you can't move forward until you get out of that initial overwhelm. I know it maybe sounds like it's not productive or it will take time. Just get it out. Whatever comes out, comes out. Set a timer for like 5 minutes max, and just see what you can get out of your head at that point. Last night, I know this works because last night I was getting a little overwhelmed trying to get a bunch of things done in the evening, and I was a little tired. So I'm like, okay, I'm overwhelmed and there's too many things in my brain. So I just sat, I wrote down exactly what was in my head, got it all out, and then I moved forward and worked for another about 2 hours and got a lot of stuff done. So I just know that at any point when you're trying to plan, get it all out, then you'll be in a better situation. And then the next thing to do is Mama First. And so I'm actually going to send out a PDF after this is over with a whole way to sit down and really break down this process, and every single day take more time to put stuff into your calendar. And this is actually a really good time because the fall is coming. July is, almost halfway through July. How crazy. I thought it just got started, but we're already almost halfway through. But this is a great way to start planning for August, September, October, and really get going and prepared before the month hits for August. So I'll send out this PDF after this call, and it takes you through one day at a time to really make sure that you're planning out your month with including the most important things, and also setting yourself up for more time for yourself, more time to be present with your family, and more time to just get your dreams and goals accomplished. So it says over here, the grass is greener where you water it. And that is so true. You do not need to be going to a spa day every day, or having a girls' night out every night, every week, or having a date night every week. But you do need to make sure you're scheduling yourself into the calendar first. And whenever I'm struggling, whenever I feel like my body's kind of breaking down, or I'm just super tired and overwhelmed and my mindset's bad and all of that, it's because I haven't put myself in the calendar at all. If we don't schedule for ourselves, we let our kids' schedules take over, our spouse's schedule take over, our families, we let everything else, our business, everything else come into play before ourselves. And so you really need to put yourself on the calendar first. So what I do every Sunday, and we'll talk about that more in a minute, is I literally make sure that I have at least something for myself planned. And I have not been very good about doing this, especially for moving my body over the last few months, because we moved across country and I went into survival mode. But I know how important it is for me. And so I've been really mindful of that. So since I'm trying to, do what I preach, this morning I did schedule myself in for working out today. And so I did wake up this morning at 6 o'clock and did a workout, and I feel a million times better than I did yesterday because I actually worked out. So you need to make sure that you put yourself in the calendar, and your kids will be fine, your husband will be fine, your spouse will be fine, everybody will be fine. And that's the thing you have to remind yourself, is they can survive without you. And you just have to make sure that mama is first, because if mama's happy, everybody's happy. So maybe you need to make sure that you're going to bed earlier. I know that with a business, if you're running a business, if you're starting a business, if you're freelancing, that, life happens and you might need to get more work done at night, and it might cause you to stay up later. I have a lot of things that we need to get done over the next few weeks before we go out for major fundraising. And so I needed to stay up late last night to get some stuff done. But I felt good about it. I needed to get it done, and my body can go on very little sleep lately because my child doesn't sleep well. But he actually slept pretty good last night. So 5 hours of pretty good sleep actually was more than I had gotten in a while. So it's all up to you. I'm not going to tell you need 8 hours of sleep, because I haven't gotten 8 hours of sleep in a good 20, multiple months, I don't know, a long time. But whatever it is for you, that if you need to get those 8 hours, then that's what you need to schedule into your calendar if you can't do well without that. Spend time with friends. I know it's easy, especially when you're doing a business, to not spend much time with friends. So that's really hard. I'm lucky that me and Stephanie are friends, so it's fun to talk and do things with my co-founder. But we also don't live near each other. And so I have to make sure that I'm mindful about setting up time with friends to see them or talk to them on the phone. And it's less time when you're busy with a business, because that's what you love to do too. But you need to make sure that you plan that time in. And then date night, if you do have a spouse, please make sure that you don't ignore that relationship, even though you're growing a business. It's really hard. And it takes a lot of work, but your spouse over time is your biggest support network in many ways. And so make sure that you are, watering that as well. And so me and Edgar were not always good about that. And we've really tried to be mindful of doing a bi-weekly date night. And then the other week that we are not going out and paying for a babysitter, we try to have a TV night and hang out, just the two of us, and be mindful of taking that time. So make sure that you do that for your relationship. Okay, the next thing is the big three. And this is the thing that has literally kept me moving forward, even amongst a crazy cross-country move and having a kid, now 2 kids, and just all the things. So what I do on Sundays, and this is pretty like religious. I do this every single Sunday. And if it doesn't happen on a Sunday, I get it done on Monday morning as soon as I can. But I write down my big 3 things that have to get done no matter what during that week. Only 3 things, because I am a crazy list maker, and I know Stephanie is too, and we will write a million lists and never get any of the stuff done because mom life and life in general. And so we have to make sure that we're just picking these 3 things. So 1, we feel like we've accomplished. We've done everything we had to do this week. 2, we are moving our business forward. And 3, we are staying consistent. And this has been super game changing for me because I almost always get my 3 things done and I feel very accomplished, and I don't stress myself out like, oh, you failed this week and you didn't get all of your things done. Now, often I get quite a bit more than 3 things done, and I'll talk about how that works. But the main things that I have to get done always get done. So you ask yourself on Sunday, it's a very simple process. What do you have to get done this week? What deadlines must be met? And what do you need to do to move your business forward? Because so often we ignore the moving our business forward. We just get everything done that has to be done for this week, and we're not moving our business forward in any way. So what I mean by that is maybe you are a virtual assistant and you need some more clients. And so what you need to do is to move your business forward, and maybe you need to network in a few Facebook groups, or you need to leave your business card at a few places, or you need to talk to your current clients and ask them if they have anybody that might need some work done. Some way to move your business forward, gain new clients, do new things, and ultimately make more money. So how can you move your business forward? For instance, for momentum for this week, how am I going to move my business forward? I needed to specifically get a few more things wireframed for our developer so he can get the rest of the platform finished up so you guys can get on it. So that was something that I had to do to literally move our business forward. But some weeks it's to reach out enough emails to talk to investors. It all depends on the week. And then what deadlines need to be met. We have the Schedule for Success call and summer school happening right now. So this week I have to finish up some emails that will be sent out to you guys. And what other things I have to get done this week are, there's a whole bunch of family stuff too. But I make a separate family little thing. And I build time into my day to make sure that happens. And so I usually block off, if it's I need to make phone calls or whatever, I pick a day of the week that I need to schedule appointments for kids, or make sure that I get a dog sitter and all those different things. I obviously messed up on the babysitter thing, but you have to schedule in that time or it just will not happen. And so being very prepared, and I said this in my Instagram story today, I was very prepared. I told my husband I needed to use the office downstairs today because we haven't set up the upstairs office for me yet. And he came down and actually, while I was making breakfast for the kids and us, he set up my computer and had everything ready on the monitoring camera. So we were prepped for that. I had all of my stuff prepared for the presentation today. So even though I was holding my kid literally until we press record and then my husband checked him, I was ready to do this call. And so just being prepared is really important as a mom boss. So 1, you are always appearing professional as much as you can. And then also you just don't feel stressed out about it. Okay, so the weekly list is the next thing that I wanted to talk about. I want you to ditch the idea of a daily to-do list or you're going to drown. And you literally will. And I was so much in my business before I started implementing this. So by having the big 3 things that you have to get done during the week, it makes sense to go with a weekly list instead of a daily list, because life happens. Today, my babysitter didn't end up coming because I didn't book her right on the program that I was supposed to. And some days we're sick. When Stephanie was here on Tuesday, I was completely dead to the world because I got food poisoning. And so life happens. But I still am 100% confident I'm going to get all the stuff done that I need to this week, even though I lost like a day and a half. And it is what it is, and you have to be prepared for that. But if you're like, today I have to get 30 things done, probably not going to happen if something happens to your day, or your kid is sick, or your car breaks down, all the things that can happen. So when you've done your big three, then I want you to break down, what do you need to get done to get those big three things done? What does that full list look like? And then once you've broken that down, then you can add some other things that you feel like really need to get done this week. But I do at the top, the big three, what are the things that need to be accomplished to get those three things done? And then after that, I write a line, and then all that stuff afterwards is things that do not have to be done. They can be done, and it would be really nice, and I would feel more prepared, but if they don't get done, it's not the end of the world. And I try to make sure that that list does not go too long, and I'll show you how to pare that list down on the next page, but get rid of your daily to-do list. Okay, so I want you to ask these questions for anything that you add to the list that is both before that line and after that line. Does it need to be done this week? Does it need to be done by me? Because moms are really bad about thinking we need to do everything and we need to have our hands in every cookie jar. We do not. So can it be outsourced in any way? Do you have the extra funds on how to outsource a cleaning lady? Do you have the funds to potentially outsource your groceries? Maybe that 1 week is really crazy and you can do a delivery pickup or Amazon Prime Now or whatever it needs to be. Or maybe you need to eat out more that week. Or maybe you need to prep your meals more on Sunday because it's a crazy week. And if you don't have the funds to do that, can you just let it go for the week? Can you just let the laundry not fully get done and just let it go? You really need to think about those kind of things if you want to really grow a business or be successful as a freelancer. Those are really important things to do. And then also just ultimately, does it need to be done right now? Can it wait? And if it can wait, then please take it off that weekly to-do list because it can go until the next week. And if you're like me and you're afraid you're going to forget these things that don't need to be done right now, what I set up is called a parking lot, and everything that's on my mind that I want to accomplish but I just don't have time for that week, I put into the parking lot and I look over that for the following week. I go, okay, some of these things needed to be done that are on this list that I didn't do last week that maybe are important for this week. So literally my paper is set up as my top 3 things. Under that is how do I get those top 3 things done as fast as possible. And then I make a line and I write down anything else I need to do for the week. I ask myself these questions. And then if there's anything that didn't need to fit into that list, I move it to the parking lot. And that's as simple as that. It literally takes me no more than 30 minutes to do on a Sunday, so I'm prepared for the week and I feel like I have everything done. So that is my process of scheduling. I don't like to make it complicated, and I also want to make sure that once you have done all of that, that you look at your schedule for the week, and you'll see this in the PDF that I'm giving you. These are things that I like to schedule in at the beginning of the month, so not on every Sunday. I schedule this in once a month. I usually actually do this on a Friday at the middle of the month, so I would actually probably do that this Friday because it's the middle of the month, or next Friday. I don't even know what date it is, really. Let's be real. But I know what I have to do this week. But anyways, you will want to make sure that you are scheduling in some time to have fun. Because one thing that my dad taught me, and he always asked me this, is, are you having fun? And if you're not having fun, just stop and take a moment and figure out how you can have fun in your life. Because if not, you're just not going to enjoy it very much. And all of it's not going to truly be worth it. So there's lots of ways to have fun and even have fun with not spending much money. So the first thing I want to make sure that you're having in your calendar every month and scheduling in is time for your dreams, because not all of our businesses today are our full dreams, or not the way that like our life is today is what we truly want in the future. And if we don't work towards those dreams a little bit every month, they're never going to come true. So for instance, our family really wanted my husband to work remote, both of us to really work remotely and have more flexibility. And so we worked towards that for like a few years before we were able to move back across the country, be closer to family, have a cheaper cost of living, and both be flexible with our jobs. And that was a huge dream of ours. And also a dream was for me to be able to start my own company. And that also has happened so far. And I think that that is just something that we have to always schedule in and work towards in some way. And so we weren't able to move like a year ago when we really wanted to move, but we set up all of the pieces and made it work. And now we were able to move. So also, like you want to write a book, for instance, you need to start working on that every single month or day, or however fast you want to get it done, or it's not going to happen. So make sure that you're scheduling in your dreams. And I don't know why this isn't showing a picture of the friends or family for some reason. Anyways, there are pictures here. It just doesn't want to show it. But I want to make sure that you're scheduling in fun time with friends. Me and 3 of my other girlfriends, we all live in completely different time zones and states and all kinds of fun places. We're in Austin, Seattle, and Hawaii, and North Carolina. And we are planning a trip once a year to one of our destinations. And whoever is having the hardest year and can't get away for as long, we're going to go to that person. And find your tribe, your people, and make sure that you do something fun with them and schedule that in and make it happen. Also, for family, are you having fun with your family? Put your phone down for a few hours in the evening and go have fun with your family. Last night we ran like laps in our backyard and played with the neighbor's dog, and my kids thought it was funny to pick up rocks with dog poop bags. I mean, it's just, you can do whatever to have a little bit of fun in your life. Nora's having lots of fun right now with her mom. But the point is that we can get really stressed as moms when we're trying to schedule all the things, when we're trying to get work done. But if we're not taking time to enjoy the people that are in our life, and enjoy just having, a good laugh, then why are we doing all of this, So make sure that you're scheduling that in as well. And that is all for Schedule for Success. Like I mentioned, I'm going to send you a PDF with the replay of this call that will walk you through how I plan on that 15th of the month for the following month to make sure that you've included, your health and wellness, you've included time with friends and family, included those date nights. If you have a spouse, you've included those dreams. And I walk you through asking questions for yourself, but it's very personal to you. And so that's why I wanted to send that as a PDF so you can try to schedule that out for yourself. So make sure, mamas, that you are taking time to schedule so you don't feel overwhelmed and you can get the stuff done, because that is really important for you to do. And I want to see you succeed, whether you are selling your products or services on Momentum or whether you are not. We want to see all mamas getting paid and enjoying their flexible lives. So thank you for joining today, and we will send out this replay within 24 hours. Thanks, mamas.